Well, everybody, we did it. We made it to another year of wild card weekend football in the NFL. And guess what? You're in luck because I'm going to review every single game, 6, that there was on this wild card weekend. And I'm not saying I'm a hero for taking the time to review these games, but I kind of am because I do have a shoulder injury and it's kind of bothering me. But yet I continue to push through and persevere. And that's really what heroes do. Anyway, I know most of you probably don't care. So with that, I say the video begins right after this short break. Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. Eat stress-free this summer with Factor's delicious ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Also, discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. So what are you waiting for? Get started today and fuel up for your springtime goals. When things get hectic, Factor is flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. I've said it in all the other ads that I've done for Factor, and it's 1000% true. They are the real deal. They have my complete and total endorsement, so if you're on the fence about it, you shouldn't be. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50berry to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50berry at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Houston versus the Chargers. I'm not going to lie to y'all, it started off looking pretty bad for the Texans as they were only down 6-0, but Stroud was throwing interceptions, they were fumbling, but guess what? Justin Herbert was in a giving mood all game long, and the Texans eventually got going as CJ Stroud said, "You think I'm a bitch?" And then he threw a long touchdown pass to give Houston a 7-6 lead, and then they kicked a field goal to go up 10-6 before Joe Mixon fumbled the ball, but thankfully for Houston, the Chargers could not do anything with it as they threw the ball short of the 6 on 4th and 2, which should be illegal. The Texans went up 13-6, and then the game collapsed completely for Justin Herbert as he threw a pick 6 to make it 20-6 Texans, and then on the very next possession, he ended up throwing another interception, although to be fair, not really his fault, but still goes down as an interception, which led to a field goal for Houston. This is the hardest working 86-yard touchdown pass in NFL history, to be honest with you, to Lad McConkey to make it a 23-12 game. For about 20 seconds before the extra point was blocked, it popped up into the air, and was returned for a 2-point conversion by the Texans to make it a 13-point game, and then the Texans did what they do, which is close the door on a Joe Mixon touchdown run, and just for shits and giggles, Herbert ended up throwing another interception, his 4th of the day, after throwing just 3 in 17 regular season games. He throws 4 in a playoff game. That, my friends, is a tough scene, but honestly, it's what Jim Harbaugh deserves for being a cheater. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. Every playoff game is a legacy game for Lamar Jackson at this point, and he started it off by throwing a dime for a touchdown to give the Ravens a 7-0 lead. Oh, look at this, a pass short of the sticks on 3rd and 2. No, I'm not angry at all about this, as it led to another Baltimore Ravens touchdown, this time by Derrick Henry. They went up 14-0, and the game was basically over at this point, and then Lamar decided, you know what, I am not a playoff choker. I'm going to show all of you by having a couple nice throws and then having a touchdown pass on the run to go up 21-0. It took nearly 2.5 quarters for the Steelers offense to do anything, which, to be fair to Russell Wilson, he did complete a couple long throws in the air like a man, which is what you're supposed to do. But the defense could not hold up as they allowed the Ravens to go right back up 28-7 on a long Derrick Henry touchdown run. Najee Harris actually made a good play, which is shocking. I don't think he's going to be back in Pittsburgh, or at least he shouldn't be, because he's not nearly as good as Jalen Waddle. George Pickens might be a psycho, but he does have this to hang on to, a nice touchdown catch, which made it 28-14 late in the 3rd quarter, and that was it for all the scoring in this game, as the Ravens defense locked down and prevented the Steelers offense from doing anything the rest of the game. Lamar Jackson avoids criticism, at least for 1 week, while Mike Tomlin is finally catching the heat, as he is now 8-11 all-time in the postseason, and 3-10 in his last 13 playoff games, no offense to Karl Malone, and also has 6 straight losses in the playoffs. But of course, this is the Steelers, they're not going to do shit. Buffalo versus Denver. All the haters who said Josh Allen can't win wildcard games, I bet you feel pretty stupid now, don't you? Props to Allen for heroically overcoming an early 7-0 deficit and not losing his cool as he handed the ball off to James Cook to give Buffalo a 10-7 lead late in the first half. Bo Nix actually got his team in position for a game-tying field goal at halftime before the loudest missed kick in sports history happened. The Bills went up 13-7 before the Broncos, who unfortunately were playing under the rules of they could only run the ball on 1st and 2nd down for some some reason, turned the ball over, and it resulted in Josh Allen padding his stats with another touchdown pass to go up 21-7. Bo Nix couldn't get it going, and then Josh Allen threw an absolute laser to Curtis Samuel, who had a bunch of yards after the catch to make it 28-7 early in the fourth. The game was already over. The Broncos threw a screen pass 5 yards short of the first down marker on 4th and 2. What the fuck? Sean Payton, this was Kevin James, Sean Payton, with these play calls. It's like he made the decision like, oh, I'm only going to have one touchdown, and that's it. I kind of feel bad for Bo Nix, though, because the guy, this is probably it for him. He's in his early 40s. There's no shame in walking away in your early 40s because your body's breaking down. I feel sorry for him. But congratulations to Josh Allen and the Bills. They still have an opportunity to lose to Patrick Mahomes for the 4th time in 5 years, and that's what really matters. Philadelphia versus Green Bay. Oh, all you silly Eagles haters thought that the Eagles were going to be upset by the Packers and Jordan Love. Sorry to deflate your boners, but that wasn't going to happen. Right from the opening kickoff, the Eagles recovered a fumble that people will bitch about, but guess what? It's a man's game. You don't come out of the pile with the fumble. It's not your ball, bitch. Jalen Hurts, under immense pressure, threw an amazing touchdown pass to Jahan Dotson to put the Eagles up 7-0. Jordan Love absolutely combusted. I said before that in the 49ers case, they went from Montana to Steve Young. Packers went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. But you know who came after Steve Young? Jeff Garcia. You know who came after Aaron Rodgers? Jordan Love. There's no shame in being a Jeff Garcia, but that may be what Jordan Love is, a Jeff Garcia. Anyways, the Eagles got a bunch of interceptions. The Packers missed a field goal. In all honesty, the Eagles, this was a game that they really could have lost. This was the game I was most nervous about, because they were a little bit rusty. They should have won by about 40. But once the Packers got on the board to make it 10-3, the Eagles finally started to take it serious, and Dallas Goedert completely bitched the defensive back for a touchdown. Josh Jacobs, respectable driver, had a nice run and a touchdown run to make it 16-10. But I wasn't worried, because we had the best quarterback in the NFL in Jalen Hurts. 4th and 3, your foot comes down on the white line with the season on the line. That's a tough scene, but guess what? I was laughing my ass off, because go Eagles, baby. The Eagles ended up winning this one 22-10 after a 3rd and final Jordan Love interception. And it would have been 29-10 had Saquon Barkley not been such a classy guy and gone down onto the ground instead of running for a long-ass touchdown, which we all know he could have done. The Eagles are now 3 wins away from winning the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl, guys. It's going to happen. And I don't say that. I say that as an unbiased NFL fan. The Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this year, and you're just going to have to accept that's the case. Fly, Eagles, fly, bitches. Washington versus Tampa Bay. The game started out with the Buccaneers taking a 3-0 lead before Jaden Daniels and the Commanders eventually got on the board with the first touchdown to make it 7-3, and then 10-3 with a field goal before Baker Mayfield, who had a passer rating in this game of 146.5 and went 6 for 6 from the field in the second half as the Buccaneers somehow lost. Oops, spoiler alert. He found Mike Evans going up against his lifelong sworn enemy Marshawn Lattimore. Seriously, why do these two hate each other so much? I unironically do not know why. It's actually killing me. Anyway, it was 10-10 at halftime, and then the Commanders went up 13-10, but guess what? Baker Mayfield said, I can come back from the dead for my career. I can also come back from a 3-point deficit, as he threw a touchdown to Bucky Irving to go up 17-13. The Commanders went for it on 4th and goal early in the 4th just to not get it, but this was the play of the game. Somebody put too much butter on the football. It slipped out of Baker Mayfield's hands, which set up the Commanders deep in Buccaneers territory. They went for it on 4th down again, and this time they were rewarded with a touchdown to make it 20-17, but the Buccaneers moved the ball down the field to get into field goal range. It looked like they were going to get a touchdown, but then again, some miscommunication on 3rd and inches led to a tackle for loss, which led to a game-tying field goal with 4:43 left, and then Jaden Daniels just calmly said, you know what? I'm about to tie Mark Brunell in the all-time playoff wins list for the Commanders, baby, as he converted a clutch 3rd and 1 and set up a game-winning 37-yard field goal, which doinked off the upright to send the Commanders to their season-ending loss next week versus the Lions. How can you not get emotional about sports? LA Rams versus Minnesota. Matthew Stafford came out on fire. No offense. Throwing a touchdown early to give the Rams a 7-0 lead, which was quickly extended to a 10-0 lead before the Vikings answered back to make it 10-3 early in the second. It seemed like this might be a somewhat competitive game, and Sam Darnold and all of the money that he seemingly earned himself this season went up in smoke. God, again, I apologize once again. No offense to all the people in California. The biggest play came when Darnold was strip sacked and it was returned for a touchdown by Jared Verse, the rookie, to give the Rams a 17-3 lead. Darnold was just seeing ghosts all game long, taking huge sacks. He took 9 sacks for 82 yards lost. That's insane. Stafford would take advantage of it, going a touchdown, his second of the day, give the Rams a 24-3 halftime lead, and the Vikings never really threatened the game. The Rams even went up 27-3 at some point, and the Vikings scored their only touchdown to make it 27-9, but Darnold kept taking sacks and throwing incompletions, and that was it for the Vikings season. They go from potentially having the 1 seed and a first round bye to being out out of the whole dance in a span of 2 weeks. That is a very, very tough scene. But I told you, motherfucking Vikings fans, all goddamn year, your team was fugazi, you were frauds, Darnold was a fluke, and you called me a hater. But guess what? You can kiss the fattest part of my ass. I was right. Listen to Barry. Listen to Barry. And also, another no-show for Justin Jefferson. It's becoming a bit of a habit for him, isn't it?